Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Thursday, December 3rd. And this morning I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. This morning we have a jam-packed show for you. It'll be our last show for a while. Unfortunately, I am getting some of my wisdom. Oh, actually, I guess all four of my wisdom teeth out. So we will not be having a podcast this weekend. I don't know when the morning shows will be back next week. We're going to kind of just have to go by ear because I've heard a lot of different stories about with people getting their wisdom teeth out from like, oh, it was an easy experience to, oh, I had these dry sockets. So I'm a little nervous. No one likes anything to do with the dentist. I've never heard anything. Anyone would be excited to go. But this morning we'll be talking about, unfortunately, Kyle Schwarber being non-tendered by the Chicago Cubs. He is essentially cut by the Cubs. We'll be getting into that a lot. Wednesday afternoon football, we had Ravens and Steelers. Steelers go to 11-0. We'll have our NFL picks for Week 13. We have some NBA news. We got some trades, some contracts. We got some college basketball updates from the boys. And Joakim Noah is going to retire most likely, which is very sad for us. We don't like that. And then we got Boomys Wacky Web Story. If you want to follow Instagram, Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. And then go over to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. And you'll find us on the YouTube. If you type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the YouTube page. And then wherever you get your podcast from, please subscribe, rate, and review. If it's Apple, anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com Chicago. Boys, how are we doing going into this? We got a little bit of a break here from shows coming up, a little mini vacation before the end of the football season. We're going to take the weekend off because, like you said, I have no idea what to expect here. But
I feel for you, dude. I've never had to go through it, but I feel for you. I can just say that.
I don't know if Boomy has. Boomy has not, I don't think.
I've got all of mine still in. They said I have a big mouth and I have plenty of room for them, so there's no need to take them out. But I will tell you this, Zach, I was terrified when I had my first root canal about a year and a half ago. And I know they're completely different, procedures, but I was terrified because of some of the horror stories I had heard. And it ended up not being as bad as I thought. I'd actually now almost rather get a root canal than get a cavity filled. So I'm hoping for you that it's not as bad as it people make it seem.
And at the moment, it doesn't really hurt, but we know a few weeks ago I had some problems with it, and it's just going to keep happening, so it's just getting the problem over with. So I'll...
Yeah, if you go back and listen to an episode like 2 weeks ago, it might even been one of the podcasts. Me and Matt basically talked the whole episode, and Zach chimed in with a yes and no here and there, but you have to remember Zach was playing through the pain.
That's not really hard for either of us to do either, though. So
no, we weren't complaining about it, not at all.
But like you said, we'll be back sometime, hopefully next week, if all goes. I mean, all will go well. It's just a little tooth surgery. I keep saying surgery, and my dad's getting mad at me. Okay, I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out. Sorry,
you're getting your foot cut off.
Yeah, my dad's like, it's not surgery. You're just getting your wisdom teeth taken out. I'm like.
It's surgery by definition, old man.
Yeah, I guess saying surgery is a little bit scarier than that. So I guess he is right there, though.
It makes you feel tougher anyway if you're going in for surgery.
Going in for surgery. But let's move on, unfortunately, to our first subject. Schwarber was non-tendered by the Cubs. That means he was cut by the Cubs. I guess they could actually re-sign him, but like you would have done that for $8 million or $9 million, whatever it was. You would have not gotten rid of him. Also getting rid of Albert Almora, which is weird because I've been wanting them to get rid of Albert Almora for a while now, and then they finally do it, and then that same day they get rid of my favorite player on the team. So it sucks. He's most likely going to go to the AL where there's a DH, which I don't know if the NL is going to.
The NL is probably going to keep the DH.
Which would be,
from last I heard,
which would just be our luck with that. And then,
yeah, seriously.
So boys, Boomy, I'll go with you first. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Man, it sucks. I mean,
Why do
like
you think
you said, this. I truly think, and I've said this for a while, I think they're trying to cut money somewhere.
Which is weird because,
it's
of all the places.
I hate it because it's billionaires complaining about not having money. That drives me nuts.
It's not like he was taking on a huge contract. That's what I don't get. Like, that's a great deal for a guy that can hit 40-something home runs every year for $8 million to go play your left field, which he's done pretty well at for the last few years.
Yeah, he's gotten better.
I know the average is usually not there. He takes a lot of walks. He sees a lot of pitches. But this really took me by surprise today.
Yeah, this one especially hurt because, like, as you know, like, I go to a lot of the Cubs minor league games with my dad, and we were there in Kane County when he first got there. Him and Almora, I believe, were both in Kane County at one point. So we got to see these guys literally come up from, like, when they were, 22 and 19 years old. So, yeah, Almora going, it doesn't hurt the Cubs as much, but it is one of those, you see those guys climb up the ranks and you see them win World Series and you see what they've done in the city, especially, with, their different organizations and stuff, their different groups and charities. And, you grow attached to a guy and you don't completely agree with why they're letting him go. It makes it especially tough. It's just, it's hard to see. And I'm not a fan of what's going on. And I really hope that, the Ricketts have some sort of plan, because as of right now, this just seems like billionaires crying about not having money, which doesn't sit anywhere with me.
I don't like it. Maddie, thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I had a weird connection issue there. I had to drop out for a second. I don't know if it was me or if it was you guys or what.
We missed you. We missed you a lot.
Like to my. All right. Well, if you didn't hear me swearing at my iPad, then that's a good thing, I guess. But anyway. No, I'm with Boomy. I think it's a bad look for the Cubs in general, and the organization as a whole. It's a productive player for $8 million, the 1-year gamble, coming off a bad year. The way I look at it, I think if anything, the Cubs have more to gain by shot of him plugging the spot. They need a productive hitter there. Because he was so integral in the 2016 World Series, coming off the ACL injury early in the season, the way he came back. Such a shot in the arm when they were able to use him in Cleveland as the DH in that series. It sucks. It sucks. The 15 homer against the Cardinals that just sat on the roof of under the video board of Wrigley. It's
2016
like
World Series. He tore his ACL at the beginning of the year. Came back at the end of the year, was a huge part of that comeback.
Yeah.
I mean,
the ball he put into the Allegheny in Pittsburgh. I mean, just stuff like that, dude. It's just, I mean, he is a very legendary player for the Cubs in a lot of ways. That for a team that maybe fell short from expectations that they had the way they started, because they won it so early in their, in their run in that Coors run. So it sucks in that regard, but I really think that whoever's going to get him is going to get a very good player at a very good discount, and it's low risk, high reward for anybody who takes a flyer on him.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Sad to see him go, but hopefully he, like I said, he'll have a great career wherever he lands. And maybe one day we'll see him back in
the boy can hit the piss out of a baseball.
Sure can. Exit velo for days.
Yes.
It's very sad for me. But we'll move on. We had some Wednesday afternoon football. We had the Steelers beating the Ravens 19-14 in a very ugly game. RG3 was out there playing. The Ravens had guys out there that haven't even taken snaps together. They fumbled literally the first ball that was a handoff RG3 fumbled, and like they were saying, because he hasn't been able to practice because they've been doing kind of walkthroughs or Zoom stuff just because of the whole thing. But we got the football game in, and the Steelers go to 11-0, and the Ravens, they're in a weird spot. I don't know what their record is as of right now.
They are 6-5.
6-5. I don't know if they're gonna have Lamar Jackson next week or not, or I think if they're gonna play
Don't really
Tuesday.
need him. You got Trace McSorley.
What?
Don't really need him. You got Trace McSorley, who only completed 2 completions, but had 77 yards. So, and obviously this kid is like big on TikTok and different social media sites. So just ride with McSorley because I think Bob Griffin got hurt.
What I'll say is I'll take Wednesday afternoon football all day. I think that's what Maddie was just about to say.
It sure was. I'll take it. The way
240.
You guys know the situation that I'm in. Right now, having to work during the day, work from home. Having that little carrot to watch on NFL football and Boomy's frozen again. It looks like he's just in awe of me. I love it. He looks like he's not.
What a look. It was a pretty good game, too. Like, it was kind of ugly, per se, but they kept it close.
In the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll take that game over not having football at 2:40 on a Wednesday. So
everyone's saying get rid of the Thursday night because it waters everything.
Fuck
that. Give it to me every day. If it was there every day, I'd be watching. Let's not kid
You know
ourselves.
what? If they took 1 or 2 games away from a Sunday and they put it like randomly throughout the week, I'd take it.
Yeah, absolutely, you would.
And you would be
There's no
crazy if
question.
you'd say no.
I couldn't agree more.
But speaking of football, let's get into our picks for Week 13. Boomy, how are we gonna do this?
So we're going to go. There is no Thursday night game tonight because of obviously the schedule changes. And there are 2 Monday night games and a Tuesday night game. So we're going to do the normal Sunday. We're going to pick 2 noon games, an afternoon, the Sunday night, the 2 Monday nights, and the Tuesday nights. We'll have 7 games this week.
Okay. I'll just go into I'll take because like I said, for me, what's the record? Because let's let people know I'm out of it.
Yeah, you are 31, 39, and 2. Matt is 34, 36, and 1, and I am 41, 29, and 2.
Whoa, Boomy.
I had a 6-1 week last week.
Wow, I didn't hear you. You didn't talk about it.
You know me, I like to keep things low key.
Well, what, did you just find out about it?
Nope.
You probably just realized it.
I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about it. So
yeah, I was gonna say you definitely would have said something.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't need to like spit on your grave or anything. So
I'm in last place, so you guys can go first because I don't want to take any of you guys' games.
I'll start off my 2 Sunday noon games. I'm going to go New Orleans -3. They're kind of a wagon right now. I got a feeling it's going to end sometime, but I just don't think it's this week. Atlanta, yes, they won big last week, but I just don't think they're going to be able to do it against an interdivisional opponent in New Orleans. New Orleans just seems to kind of have it rolling right now with Taysom Hill. And I'm also going to take Las Vegas -8. I know that's a lot of points for the Raiders, but the Jets are absolutely unbearably the worst football team I've seen maybe in my whole life. And I don't trust them to score more than 10 points.
Boomy, I hate to be this way, and I know you're right, but the Raiders last week, awful.
Well, and that's part of the reason
the Falcons,
why
awful. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Show up.
I agree, and I'm with you. I lost money on it too, but this is going to be a bounce-back game for the Raiders,
but
and
it's
the Jets
in
are just
New York.
ungodly.
That's the only thing.
Yes. If they were playing anybody else, I don't know if I would take it.
You're right.
So I'm going to go New Orleans and Las Vegas in my 2 noon games.
Maddie?
For my first noon game, I'm just gonna read off a couple numbers to you real quick. Let's see. Their last 4 games they lost by 2 points to Houston, by 4 points to Green Bay, to 24 to Pittsburgh, which is undefeated, obviously.
Jacksonville.
And 2 points to Cleveland. And they're a 10-point dog against Minnesota.
I like that one too.
The numbers don't add up there. That they're
No, because
it's
I
either
feel
like
like yes, the
I'm either
Vikings will
walking
win,
into a
but they're going to
giant.
win by like a field goal or a touchdown, maybe.
I'm probably walking into an absolute giant trap here.
No, I think
But
you're right.
give me the dogs.
This year's
and the
Vikings,
10
they will
there.
win a game, but they will have to come back from at least 2 touchdowns.
Right, and Jacksonville's scrappy. It seems like they're like I said. I
They're
just rattled
trying.
off their scores. They're in every game. Anybody that's to their level and talent, and not superior, like far superior, like Pittsburgh, they're hanging with them, and they hung with Green Bay, who's a much better team. So, so that's my first one at noon. The second game at noon, so hard. I'm going to take another one that just feels almost trappy, and it's going against my interdivision home dog. But I'm going to take Indy -3.5 at Houston. I wouldn't say it's a must win by any means for Cleveland or for Indy. They're in a good spot playoff wise, at 7-4, but they need to get on the right track. It was a tough loss last week against Tennessee where they kind of just got manhandled, and you want to bounce back against a team that's far less talented in Houston. Deshaun Watson or nothing, I defense should have no slowing him down, especially without Will Fuller. So,
and Matt, I don't mean this to be like a sarcastic, like making light of a situation, but obviously we talked about the Rodrigo situation and him announcing that he had cancer and he's having surgery done this week. Do you ever take any stuff like that external?
I don't think
like
it hurts the
into
emotion for the team. I don't think that hurts Indy's side by any means, giving them a little extra, like, let's play for our guy.
Yeah.
I always like with the emotions on your side, the positive emotions on your side, I'm never going to fade that.
Definitely.
I'm going to go
I like that pick too.
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans -6 against the Cleveland Browns. And I'm also going
That was my other thought too. Was Tennessee was one of my other ones.
I'm
Zach.
also
I like
going
that
to take the Chicago Bears -3 against the
There we
Detroit
go.
Lions. Bear down. Noon game. Let's go, boys. We're getting back on track. We are going to make the playoffs.
My only I like those picks. Like my only worry with Tennessee is no. I mean I can't bring my. I thought about being a typical jag off me.
Crazy. I mean the Lions.
The Bears.
Suck,
well, because the Lions can't score.
The Bears' favorite. It might be the first time all year.
I wanted to be that guy to pick the Lions, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. But Tennessee, my only worry with them is that they have seemed to play to the competition all year. And hopefully they can buck that trend like we talked about the other day. They're doing a good job at hitting their stride at the right time. And I think if they continue to do that, then they should hit that number pretty easily. I know I'm going to get burned on this one because I literally cannot seem to pick this team correctly, but I'm going to live by it right now. I am going to take in the afternoon, give me the New England Patriots in a pick at the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like every time I bet on the Patriots, I lose, and if I bet against them, I lose. But I just don't. I don't like what's happening in Los Angeles right now because I think Anthony Lynn came out and even said that like the chances of them being involved in a playoff picture are just unrealistic. Like kind of seems to me like they're giving up on the season. And the Patriots after their win on Sunday definitely are not. If that's a pick, I'm going to take Bill Belichick, but this could easily be a game where the Patriots should win, but they come out and lay an egg. So give me the Patriots in a pick.
Maddie?
The chances of Anthony Lynn screwing something up is really, really high, too. Yes. That guy's a moron. So, I don't know. I don't hate that one either. 3 o'clock, I'm going with the Cardinals. And it's the three-point dog at home. Must-win game for them to get back in the playoff race, get back in the thick of things. They've kind of, struggled lately, only win coming off of, the Hail Mary, D-Hop.
If it wasn't for that play, they'd have 4 losses in a row. That worries.
Right. Yeah, it does, and that's why I'm kind of just going to go the oppo. When it seems like the obvious, I walked into the 2 traps at noon. I'm going to fade the trap at 3.
I am going to go – this sucks to say. I think I'm going to go the Packers. I got to go with the Packers. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles stink. They are bad. Carson Wentz stinks.
And they
in
bailed
Green Bay.
It too.
They're going to have the fans there. They got some fans there. And I don't know. I'm so over the Eagles. They stink.
They, for some reason, and I don't know if it's because I have an uncle who's an Eagles fan, but it seems like the Packers have the damnedest time against the Eagles.
Well, guess what? Carson
And
Wentz stinks, so they won't.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
And they showed on Monday night.
They have no running game. They can't do anything.
They might have a chance if they put Jalen Hurts in there. He's a much
actually,
better.
I don't know if I should do that because they're going for 2 with freaking 10 seconds left. So I don't know if I should take any spread that's going to be close to 8.5 there.
I hope you're right. The Packers have done well against the spread this year, so hopefully you don't jinx us there.
Not a lot of games, though.
No, there's really well with everything getting moved to Monday, Tuesday. The Sunday night game, I'm going to take this, and I think it might be too many points, but I just can't bet against the Chiefs at home. I'm going to take Chiefs minus 14. I don't love it, but I also don't know who in the hell is going to start at quarterback.
Blake Bortles, baby. I think they all.
If that's the case, then lock me in at 15.
All right, you're an idiot. But no, I think that. What?
Just go ahead.
You're an idiot. But no, I think that I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 quarterbacks have tested negative for COVID, so I think they're gonna be good with that. I'm gonna take.
Yeah, it sounds like
sorry,
they're probably in the clear.
I kind of took over for Matt. I'm gonna take.
No, I thought you're good.
That's a lot of points. I get it. I know what you mean, but I don't know.
You're taking Denver.
Yeah, what do I know?
I'm only taking the Chiefs because I never bet Denver correctly, so I'm just going to take the Chiefs.
They're hard to get a read on because it feels like they play in games that they shouldn't be in.
You guys win, it's because of me, so you're welcome.
But I got absolutely no feel for that team right now, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
And then we'll do the 2 Monday games and Tuesday.
Yep. So I'll start on that Monday at 4:00. We have the Steelers hosting the Washington football team. I'm going to take the Washington football team, and I know I'm probably falling into a trap here because of how well they played on Thursday night.
Quick turnaround,
but my biggest reason here is that Pittsburgh plays down to their competition so bad, and they just proved it on Wednesday afternoon football. They've done it all year. They should have lost in Dallas. They play down to their competition, and Washington's playing manageable football. I mean, they're not good, but they're good enough to stay in a game. So give me Washington plus 10.
I'm going to go with Boomy, too. I'm going to go with that because it's such a quick turnaround. They just played Wednesday, and they have a quarterback that does not like to practice for at least 2 to 3 days after a game. So I like that. I like the Washington football team.
I am 100% with you guys. I think
I don't know if that's good.
Pittsburgh, like Boomy said, plays down to the level of competition. We finally got a consensus here. It doesn't seem like we ever get that too frequently. So scary, maybe show pot, maybe small show pot somewhere on this one. Who knows, boys? But I like Washington.
No.
A little sprinkle.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if Washington is the team that ends their perfect season? The other
things have happened, though, really.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The other Monday night game, we will see the San Francisco 49ers host the Buffalo Bills. 49ers a 2-point dog at home. 49ers are playing well lately, and I just don't trust the Bills. Give me the 49ers plus 2 at home.
I'm going Bills, Josh Allen, minus 1.5. I think they win this pretty easily. I think last week was a little weird for the 49ers, so I think Bills in a rout. No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. Don't forget that. Maddie, do you not?
Yes. I'm going to go with the Bills. This is another one of those games where it just feels like the Bills are so
and why is the line so close? That's the thing. Right. What's the deal there?
It's just
what do they know?
It's so smelly. I hate this kind of game. I hate this
smelly
kind of line.
Cat.
Yeah,
smelly?
It really is.
What show is that from?
Friends, right? That show stinks.
I hate agreeing with Boomy, and I gotta do it again. It's 2 in a row here.
Let's move on. Yeah. Let's just move on before it is.
That's fine.
Take you for Buffalo, Matt.
Yes, put me down for Buffalo.
And then I'll take. What a game here.
This is.
I'm taking the
At least
Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm going to take the Ravens. Lamar Jackson will be back. So
Let's hope.
Give me this. Let's lock in the 7 now.
Yeah, I'm on that too. I just
Cowboys
don't
stink.
trust. That's exactly it. I don't trust the Cowboys, and I just you don't know what you're getting out of them. It's what they could be the team that played with the Steelers, or they could be the team that got their asses handed to them. The team that beat Minnesota, or the team that got embarrassed on national TV on Thanksgiving. You just don't know what you're getting, right. And I refuse to trust that. And I think this is going to be literally, like a do or die for Baltimore, because if they lose that game and go to 6-6, the odds of them going to the playoffs just keep shrinking and shrinking. You have to bounce back, and you have to bounce back in a big way. And I think they're going to be able to do it against a very, very bad Dallas Cowboys team.
Maddie, did you give your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson back. I think that's.
You did. Sorry.
Yeah. That's the side there, in my opinion.
That's one.
I went right at.
So we have a consensus here again.
I told Boomy. I don't know how anybody could feel comfortable taking Dallas for that one. Really.
No, but that's never good when our brains agree. Never good. Never good.
Yeah, it's usually equals a problem for sure.
Yeah. But let's.
Which, if you're listening to this, means go bet Dallas money line and put
Pound them.
Yeah, seriously.
Tweet us too.
But that was the NFL Pick Show Week 13. We are quickly getting to the end of the season here, which, if you're a Bears fan, maybe not the worst thing. But let's move on. Let's get through these subjects here. We got some NBA news real quick. Russell Westbrook has been traded to the Washington Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick. Pretty crazy news. I did not expect that. I did not know that was going to be a thing where they were. So, do you think is Russell Westbrook a first-round pick better than John Wall?
Yes.
You just haven't seen him in a while, so I think it's recency bias too.
He's gotten overshadowed by James Harden, but he is. I know.
I'm just saying. John Wall is a top point guard in the league too.
I agree. The biggest issue with John Wall is his your best ability is your availability.
But
so
if you don't want to be there, why have Russell Westbrook there, and you get a player that's like I said is not as good as Russell Westbrook, but you got a first rounder too.
And also, rumor has it there that Bradley Beal's going to be shipped too. So it's basically going to be,
I don't know. Maybe
the Bulls get in the mix on that.
What'd you say?
You see the Bulls get in the mix on that at all?
I would love to see Bradley Beal.
Absolutely love that, Maddie. I would love that a lot.
I would kill for, wouldn't it? I think he'd be a really good fit with Donovan too.
Oh,
I agree.
You're right. But we'll.
Didn't Donovan coached him in college?
Yeah, but he was a Florida kid.
But we'll just kind of have to wait and see how this all goes. Westbrook goes to another team. Maybe he'll start the season next year with the Wizards. We don't know. Like I said, if they're going to get rid of Bradley Beal, I don't know if they're going to really want to keep Russell Westbrook around if they're trying to rebuild. Who knows?
Yeah. That guy's kind of fallen off the map, too, really, when you think about it. A couple years ago.
He's a great point guard and everything, but just can't find the right spot.
Well, you always felt like, okay, this is a guy that averaged a triple-double. He should be able to be the number one on any team and then you build from there. And it just hasn't come to fruition in that way.
But then then he goes to Houston, and where they pair him with a guy who does the same thing and shooting a lot.
He's just gone to irrelevant.
You only have so many shots to get up during a game.
Right.
I think that was kind of the big problem there in Houston. And then we have LeBron James signing a 2-year, $85 million contract, which, for what he's worth, that's a bargain. He's worth
Here's the conspiracy theory on this, guys, is that LeBron signed a 2-year deal because if they change the high school to NBA rule back to where it used to be, then at the end of LeBron's 2-year contract in LA is when Bronny will be able to go to the NBA if they change that rule. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And this deal also ends the any chance of Giannis signing with the Lakers this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can't afford that, especially if they're going to re-sign Anthony Davis. That's going to be a lot of money because
Too many max
because
contracts.
he's going to want a lot.
Not
I
enough
think he's going to want a lot of
basketballs either.
years.
Yeah. So seriously.
So
Come on. I mean, that just wouldn't even. It'd be so clunky to see
Yeah.
LeBron and Giannis on the floor together.
and
LeBron, Giannis, and Anthony Davis, small forward and two power forwards, like that really would.
Awesome for 2K and really, really weird to watch.
Yeah.
And then Kobe White with training camp starting today for the Bulls. I think it was yesterday for the Bulls. Or when did that start? It was kind of like just randomly popped up on the old Twitter feed.
I think it was yesterday.
But Kobe
but
White has been named the starting point guard most likely for the Chicago Bulls.
Playing point guard for the Cubs. I love it.
Hey,
He's actually going to play left fielder now that Schwarber's not there.
we need a left fielder. But I'm excited to see Kobe White finally going out there and getting he should have been starting last year, like to go out there and give him some chances, especially when the season was clearly not going to make the playoffs. Well, I think that he's finally got a coach that's going to develop him more during the season, let him get out there and play in some pressure moments. I'm excited to see Kobe White start.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot better than expecting to see Tomas Satoransky have as many turnovers as he has points. Like, get out of here, dude. You stink.
Fight that guy is so bad. So frustrating to watch, dude.
Awful.
Just and Bulls Twitter is so just annoying too. And like they were jacked. Just like geeky Bulls Twitter was so fired
he's got this high upside.
Yeah, he starts these random games. You're like, why is he starting?
Ball went down. Give me a break. That guy sucks.
There's a reason he didn't get extended in Washington, who isn't much better than the Bulls.
Yep.
But let's move on. We got college basketball. We have the Illinois-Baylor game going on as we speak. We got some late-night basketball. Gonzaga beat West Virginia today. Gonzaga looks like the team to beat in college basketball.
Yeah.
They look – I was wrong. Boomy had said – I think it was Boomy said that they were going to be going into it as the most dominant team in college basketball, and they've made that known. I think I can't remember who got injured tonight, but it was one of their better players, and they were down at the moment. It was a bad injury. I don't know if it's going to be a season-ending injury, but they battled back, and they won that game pretty handedly. I think it ended up getting a little closer at the end because West Virginia was just getting up some baskets at the end. But I think Gonzaga, in my eyes, is easily the best team in college basketball right now. They are number one, which is not hard for me to say. But, boys, what are your thoughts on the first week? It's been 2 weeks?
No, just not today marked a week.
I don't know why it seemed like 2 weeks just because there's so many games.
There's so many games. Yep, that's exactly. Man, it's been beautiful the first week. I know they're dealing with, adding games in here and there, 48 hours notice, 72 hours notice. But I feel like the programs that are doing it well. Like you said, Zach, I agree. Gonzaga just looks like a unit right now. But West Virginia did show a lot last night.
They're a good team.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Huggy's always going to get those guys prepared no matter what. A couple other ones we saw last night. We saw Michigan State go to Cameron and beat Duke for the first time ever. Duke they got to fix something because that's not right there. They're just – I'm not disagreeing. They look.
They would though. They would have their worst season. They would have their worst season on a COVID year.
Don't be surprised if Duke is the first team in the country in like January that's be like, oh, we're not going to play in the NCAA.
It's too high risk.
Yep. But they're gonna do it even earlier this year. They start getting a couple.
I don't even want to be in the tournament.
Michigan State looked good. I'll give them that. Duke looked down. Kansas comeback win over Kentucky. Kentucky just looks so damn young. They just played dumb. They were up 10 points, nearly around 10 points at half, and just kind of pissed it down their leg there in the second half. But that coach's classic that they had on Tuesday night, man, those were two good games. I know that
a lot of good games.
Handled the time, but A lot of good basketball going on, man.
It's fun to watch. Like you said, you don't know who's going to
Hey,
play
is,
all the time. You really can't look forward to the games because you don't know when they're really going to be sometimes. But like I said, just kind of live in the moment because there's so many games going on every day.
Absolutely. Matt, I don't mean to dance on your grave,
Oh,
but
yeah.
is
Here we
Texas
go.
basketball back? Like, they just won the Maui Invitational.
If you want to say Texas basketball is back, you got to say North Carolina basketball is back because they kept it close. They lost by a tough shot at the end there. They're doing a lot better than they did last year, Maddie.
They look a lot better. Caleb Love had a really, really rough game today. He could not find the bucket. Had an open look in a tie game with 45 seconds left and airballed a three, wide open three. Just completely airballed it. It was a tough game for him. It's a young backcourt. RJ Davis is the real deal. That kid's a scorer, gets to the rim, really good ball handler for an off guard too. So it's fun to watch. Having a kind of a combo guard or pair of combo guards like that. I think Caleb Love will be fine. Big problem today was they could not hit a free throw when they needed to. They could not hit a fucking open shot when they needed to. Late in the first half, Texas hit 5 straight threes in a row, and when you do that, you get down 12 to start the half, and then you're digging out of a hole. They came out of the first half, guns ablaze, and this went on an 8-0 run and cut it to 4. They just could never get over that hump and really go on another run, take control of the game. And then when you guy hits a shot like he did at the buzzer, it's not much you can do. I think it was well defended. I don't think what Texas did too with that last play and waited like the entire 25 seconds. I think you could screw yourself so much, man. I think a lot of times I think you got to leave yourself a putback chance. Know the situation. Carolina only had one timeout left, so it's one of those situations where if Carolina got the ball, they're not going to be pushing it up the floor if you're with 5 seconds. So it's fine. You're going to force a half quarter, if anything, if you don't get a putback. So I don't like when coaches run it down to 0 there, but it worked out for Texas, obviously. Is Texas back? I don't think this is the game that you say they're back, quote, back to what they were.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They got, that Greg Brown's a stud. He's a bruiser for perimeter players, really good guy, like really good talented player. They got a lot of talent, a lot more talent than they've had the last few years. And
it's the hair on Shaka Smart.
He's got to cut that, dude.
That's
cut it.
bad.
I like that guy, though. I still think he's a good coach. I think it's, he's caught a lot of flack at Texas the last few years with how they haven't been, what they expected when he went there. But, it is Texas. It's not Duke. It's not Kansas.
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
Not, there's still the second rung for buckets.
If that, yeah. Hey, one other thing I want to talk about as far as college basketball goes. Illinois State played a school today called Greenville College, I believe, and it's from Southern Illinois. They're a Division III school, and they run the old Grinnell offense. If you guys remember, the Grinnell had the kid that I think is Jack Taylor that scored like 138 points in a Division III game. They played no defense. They just try to shoot. They led Division III in scoring last year. But they have played now 3 Division I teams. They played UMKC, Murray State, and Illinois State. And I want to read their scores. They're 0-3. Obviously, they're Division III playing in Division I. They have lost 138 to 97 to UMKC. They've lost 173 to 95 to Murray State. And tonight they lost to Illinois State 177 to 108. If you get a chance to see Greenville basketball play any games this year, you tune it in because you are going to see more scoring in one night than you will in a week of most games.
I love it.
That's beautiful. They're going to give up 200 if they keep playing Division I teams, unfortunately.
Get it up and down the floor.
Greenville, D3, baby.
And let's move into, I guess, our second to last subject here. We got Joakim Noah. He hasn't officially retired yet, but there is reports that he will be retiring. He was waived by the Clippers yesterday. So, yeah, he will be – they said there's multiple reports that he'll be retiring, which is sad. Love Joakim, but he's been having knee problems since he was with the Chicago Bulls, and I think he's with the Clippers. He's been with the Knicks. He's had a great career in the NBA. An awesome guy to watch. The heart and soul of the Bulls there for a few years, even when Derrick Rose was injured. He still kept them in it. He one time was
Fourth
third
in MVP voting.
Third in MVP voting.
Was it third?
I think he was third. What'd you say?
I thought it was fourth. I thought it was fourth. I could
He was
be wrong.
in the MVP voting. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this stinks. It stinks to see those guys that, like, you remember in the heydays, you know, like, you remember the Bulls so fondly in those times. I got to meet Joakim Noah when I was, like, a freshman in college, just the nicest dude. Yeah, everybody's got an awesome piece. Matt's got the cool signed piece. I got to meet him at a Bulls, like, preseason thing, and I just mentioned something about the Florida football game that was on TV, and he talked to me for like 5 minutes just about Florida football. So super nice dude. I hope that, you know, obviously he'll have a life after basketball. He's a, you know, very entertaining person. So, but it stinks to see, you know, those guys that you look so fondly upon hang them up.
Yeah, it is sad.
You guys obviously hit on how good of a player he was, how good of a bull he was. That dude was cool as shit too. Cannot dispute how cool of an athlete he was. Too,
he seemed like a real down to earth guy. And he said he brought the energy to the United Center for a few years there, when even with Derrick Rose injured, coming back,
when he was getting that clap going,
brought the finger guns
back on defense, man, just so much emotion. He brought a ton to the floor, man. I loved him.
Had the great Cleveland. Oh, you guys like Cleveland?
But I don't know if I've ever seen you smile like that before. That was a creepy smile there.
We need to turn that into a gift.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, sad to see Joakim Noah retire. Like I said, he hasn't officially retired yet, but there are reports that he will be in at least maybe the next few days, or who knows how he'll do it. He'll do it in a Joakim Noah way. We all know that. But let's get into our last subject here. We got Boomys Wacky Web Story.
I'm going to keep it short, and I'm going to keep it local today. About 11 o'clock this morning, I got a Snapchat from a coworker, and it turns out what the coworker told me was true. In LaSalle, Peru, I work in LaSalle. We had a wild, apparently it was a wallaby, but it looked like there was just a kangaroo just hopping around LaSalle, Peru, Illinois. Apparently it escaped from his owner, Nathan Drool's house in Peru shortly after 1 p.m., and there was videos going around like crazy. This kangaroo just hopping all around little,
He
Peru.
was by the interstate.
No, it was at the. What'd you say?
It was
though?
like over by the. It was kind of like the interstate.
No, it was the 251 turnaround by the bridge.
Oh,
there.
well, yeah, it kind of looks like it. I mean, it's heavy
Yeah,
traffic.
It did look like an interstate.
Yeah, so it was at the 251 Route 6 turnabouts, and then eventually they couldn't capture this thing. They had police and animal control trying to catch it, and they chased it all the way down to the Illinois River. And apparently everybody was giving me a hard time because I said kangaroo, but apparently it was a wallaby. Or so, wallaroo, I don't know. It's a kangaroo, all right? It was bouncing all around. It jumped in the Illinois River, and it had to be rescued by guys that were out on the river in their boats with fishing nets and taken to the animal hospital just to make sure it was good because obviously the water's cold. But, yeah, we had a loose kangaroo in LaSalle, Peru, in the Illinois Valley area today. So, gotta love. We need more loose kangaroos.
You guys don't know the owner, correct? Or you guys don't have like a second?
I know someone of the. I think I know the owner's cousin. I gotta ask you about it because it's hilarious.
So yes, Boomy, that was pretty insane there with a wallaby, or as Boomy would say, wallaroo.
Yeah, I don't know.
In
Exactly.
Peru,
It was
Illinois.
kangaroo, all right.
That is a wacky web story. But boys, anything post show?
Hey, big news locally. I know we obviously talked about Kyle Schwarber not being with the Cubs, but a local kid here in the Illinois Valley may get his chance. Michael Hermosillo from Ottawa High School was picked up by the Cubs. He spent the last 7 seasons in the Angels organization, had made his MLB debut, played left field with Mike Trout in center, kind of bounced up and down. So maybe an opportunity to see a local kid from Ottawa High School play for the Cubs. I know we're sad about Kyle Schwarber, but maybe an opportunity. Very cool. And we'll talk about that more at length when we get to spring training. But very, very cool that a local kid's getting that opportunity.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Definitely.
We got a minor league deal with the Chicago Cubs. So we are excited to see where that opportunity goes. I know I saw on Twitter he said that was his favorite team growing up. So
yeah, that was going to be my question. I didn't know if he
I
had
think
like,
that's what he said. I'm
Cubs
pretty
fan
sure.
stock.
Yeah, he said he grew up a Cubs fan.
I don't want to put
Very cool.
I don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth. But But boys,
I mean, which one of us doesn't grow up dreaming of that? You
Oh,
know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
Wrigley Field,
absolutely.
oh, beautiful.
insane.
But thank you to Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF for joining me tonight. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. You'll find us on their YouTube. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the YouTube page, wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. If it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com Chicago. Anything else, boys? We'll see you all, everyone, in we'll say few days, next week sometime. We'll have to just see how it goes.
Let's have a beautiful weekend.
Good
Zach,
luck, good luck, Big Z.
Thank you.
With the wisdom teeth, we're gonna we'll keep you entertained via text message as per usual.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the whole thing.
We can hear it in your voice.
You go in Friday morning, you said,
Yep,
right?
7:45.
All right, so you're home by noonish, probably, and then
Probably before
probably
that.
full slate of college. It should be full slate of college buckets after, is my guess. So you might have something to keep yourself taken care of.
Yeah, we'll see. So this has been the TCF Morning Show, Thursday, December 3rd. We love you all.
Peace.
See ya.